Can I have control of the screen so I can pop up what I find?
Nope.
Nope.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Tressa.
Yes, you are. Tressa, we're trying a different kind of format tonight.
We are.
It's very exciting.
So exciting. This is going to go off without a hitch, and it's going to be perfect.
Either way, it's going to be super fun. We do well with change and new things.
So well.
We do so well.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
The thing is, even a lot of news sources that are around today, sometimes you question, right? Not quite sure if we're getting reliable facts or not. Lots of missing fact checking going on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So when there is an article published or put out there into the world, sometimes people share said article or talk about said article, or perhaps just the headline, and maybe don't do so much with the fact checking.
Are you saying that the headline does not encompass the entirety of the article? Because usually it's just like, I like a headline. I'm done with this now, and I will move on to the next thing.
It's kind of like just reading the title of a book. Let me rephrase.
Yeah, you get the whole idea of the book, and you're done.
Have you ever...
To Kill a Mockingbird? It's obviously about a guy that kills a mockingbird. The end of story. Handmaiden's Tale. It's a book about a maiden that does things with their hands. The end of story.
Okay. All right. Let me rephrase. So you know how sometimes the title of a movie doesn't necessarily
Time Cop. End of story. That is the movie. It is about a cop who deals with time. I don't know what you're talking about, Jenny. It all is encompassed in the title / headline.
All right, let me try something else. So you know how sometimes when you see the title of a TikTok video, but it doesn't necessarily...
What title of it? What do you... Have you ever been on TikTok?
No.
Okay. That explains a lot.
Yeah. No, not at all. All right, so sometimes a single phrasing cannot describe everything that's in there. And you have to go back and you have to do fact checking. Anyway, we could go on and on with all of these examples that you're not going to understand. Yeah, you really, really could. You're going to find fault with all of them. Yeah. But I thought, you thought, myself because of the frustration of the fact checking, you because it's a heck of a lot of fun, we thought we'd go to the original questionable news source.
Oh wait, hold on. I got a sound for this.
Oh, hold good. On. Is it an air horn? Because if it's an air horn.
What are we talking about today, Jenny? What are we doing?
We're doing Weekly World News.
Hello.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go back to the OG of nonsense. Let's do this.
Absolute nonsense. And we're going to start off in June of 1981.
All right. Let's do this.
But listen, we can't do this alone. We have to have a guest.
So
we have chosen somebody by so many people's requests.
And demands.
And frankly a little threatening, some of these letters, but
it's weird.
I like the bribery ones better, but please help me welcome back Chachi.
Oh,
that was so nice. As you were going through your opening, I was trying to think of a movie that didn't actually align to what the title was, and I couldn't think of one.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
The guy kills a mockingbird. End of story. What?
Why would you watch a movie like that?
I don't. It
I
seems
remember the first
boring.
one I was really tricked on
Uh-huh.
was Boogie Nights.
Right. There was,
Totally
but there
not my
was
thought.
Boogie. There was Nights.
Mm.
It all encompasses
Did it?
that.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe boogieing was different in the 70s.
Most likely, yeah.
Possibly.
We should be so
Possibly.
lucky.
Mm.
Listen, back in June of 1981,
I
there
was
was a
gonna
lot
say
of
that's now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Way back last week, yeah.
Back last week,
Mhm.
there was some impressive news stories happening, and I'd like to give you a little taste of those.
Oh, okay. I will do that as well, but you kick it off, Jenny.
I'm gonna
Boom,
do
boom, boom. Oh, air horn, air horn. I'm not going to do it again.
yeah, please don't. It's kind of a obnoxious noise, but
Disagree.
God bless it, I love it. All right. So this article is Bigfoot Lives.
Everybody knows that.
I know, obviously. So there has been astonishing new evidence, hair and blood samples from a strange ape-like man-beast. Proves that the elusive Bigfoot lives in the deep and remote forests of this country. The odds are astronomically in favor that a species of unknown primate not only exists in this country, but that it exists in many different states as well. Bigfoot researcher John Eric Beckjord of the Bigfoot Project in Seattle, Washington, told the Weekly World News. Beckjord made this statement shortly after scientists found that hair and blood samples from 3 different states belonging to a totally unknown gorilla-like primate. Bigfoot investigator they say his name a lot. Beckjord has just released the results of a scientific study of hair and blood samples believed to be those of Bigfoot. We have evidence, like the blood and hair traces, that Sasquatches may be man-related humanoid primates, he said. My research and experiences lead me to believe that they are too large to be men and too well documented to be myths. Beckjord had sent to animal experts 3 hair samples and a blood sample collected from Bigfoot encounters in Maryland, Oregon, and Washington. Researcher Tom Moore of the Wyoming Fish and Game Laboratories and anthropology professors Dr. Stephen Rosen of the University
She doesn't even drink.
I know. Of the University of Maryland confirmed that the hairs didn't resemble those of 91 other known mammals, including coyotes, dogs, horses, cows, or bears. Incredibly, they found that the hairs did not match those of monkeys or apes, but did come close to the hair of a gorilla. The 3 samples probably came from the same type of animal, even though the hairs were found in 3 different states. Dr. Vincent Satrick of University of California concluded that the blood sample did not come from a bear, dog, wolf, cow, or horse. But he said he was, these guys in their 90%, 99% certain that the blood was primate in origin. Dr. Satrick guessed that the blood came from a man because man was the only known primate in the area where the sample was found. What the doctor did not know was that the blood was taken from one of the hair samples, a sample that tested out to be from a gorilla-like creature, not a man. The hair and blood were left by the monster that tried to break into a home in the Lamani Indian Reservation near Bellingham, Washington. It was late at night in the middle of winter when the ground was frozen and there was little food for foraging animals. At 2 a.m., the Jefferson family was awakened by a terrifying smash that literally shook the house. At first, Douglas Jefferson thought that a car had run off the road and into the house. But when his hunting dog ran under the bed, cowering in terror, he grabbed his rifle. In the living room, he found smashed glass everywhere and blood and long, white-tipped black hairs on the windowsill. The creature, which had attempted to break in, had to have been huge since the windowsill was a good 5 feet above the ground. Prince suggested he weighed about 700 pounds. Jefferson believed that the beast was a Bigfoot because it had been 14 years since the last bear had been sighted on the reservation. Boom.
Okay.
That was like a 3-drink story. I just want to say real
right?
fast.
No,
Okay.
that was really long.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
Guys,
no, I'm,
Bigfoot.
So the question we're posing here is,
mhm.
was that a real story? Is that no? That's not the question.
I'm going to go with yes.
I look at it this way:
Um,
there was no ancestry DNA in 1981.
right. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh, they're not even talking about DNA. They're just talking about what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
So, looks alone, is that enough?
No,
No.
of course not.
Mm,
Oh, you can look under a microscope,
minute.
but you're not going to be able to see, like, oh, listen, this is ape.
didn't we just have a complete discussion on
Probably.
on the title of a book describing everything that was in the book?
Those are words, dum-dum, not hair.
Cliff notes. Yeah.
What? You're like comparing apples and oranges. What are you saying? Listen,
Well,
I'm so
what we
sorry.
don't know is, nowadays, if that article was posted, we could see at the very top how many people read that article, how many people liked that article.
right?
What we don't know is how many people actually purchased that newspaper and that article resonated with them.
Everyone that bought it, I'm assuming.
Obviously.
You don't buy this paper without reading that headline first, and you don't buy that paper unless you read it and you're like, yes, I'm gonna believe whatever I'm being told right now because I want to. It looks like an ape hair. I'm in.
Yeah, I
And that
mean,
was the Weekly World News, is that right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Weekly World News, and that publication came out to something like 2007, and we're talking about 81. So enough people believed it that they managed to last for a very long time.
Listen, they're still going. I mean, I was gonna say going strong, but they're still going. It's just
They're still
online
going.
now.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, how about that bear that's never been seen in 14 years? It can't be that.
I feel like that might have been the weakest point out of everything. Eyeballing some hairs aside, I think that we haven't seen one in a while, so it must not
Can't
be that.
So,
Don't get me wrong, I fully believe, but
so I just looked up the facts behind Weekly World News. Okay?
Oh, do tell.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am very fact-based. And so to me, I want to know, wow, invite me on your show and then you laugh at my facts.
Wow.
I'm very fact-based, okay? So at its peak, everybody saw that on the newsstand. Everybody saw it when you went to check out at any grocery store you were at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At its peak, how many sales of that periodical happened each week? 'Cause I think that was a weekly magazine or weekly paper.
Weekly
it
World
was.
News.
Yeah, weekly. Oh, wow. Let's go back to what we talked about. Do you believe what it says in the title?
I'm
Weekly
saying
World
it's
News,
right
I believe it was
there.
distributed weekly.
I believe so.
So
All right.
at its peak,
Yeah.
you figure there's probably 300 million people in America back then, give or take. Okay. In the early 80s,
Sure.
everybody went to the grocery store. There was no home delivery.
Right.
Correct.
So how many, and it's an impulse purchase. What was it, like 50 cents?
40.
Yeah, something like
I think
that.
It was 40
okay.
cents.
Pack of gum.
Yeah.
How many people purchased that at its peak?
1.5 million people.
I'm going to go 1 million.
Wow. You guys, did you do your own research?
I looked into the
You're both
history.
so far off.
but
It
not
just
the
sounds
sales.
almost real.
I
No,
read headlines.
1.2 million
Oof.
at its peak
All right.
at 40 cents a shot.
I mean, that's pretty
Listen.
fantastic.
Right.
Worth every penny.
That is
Mike-
about, that is just a percentage of the viewers of your show. Percentage.
Just a fraction.
Right.
I
I
can't
know.
even imagine.
Drowning in fan mail over here.
1.2.
I thoroughly enjoyed looking at some of the history of the Weekly World News because it just sounds wild. It started because the National Enquirer went to color. And the actual equipment that they were using to print the paper was, just kind of going to waste. And this dude was like, I'll take it. I'll run this paper. It'll be black and white forever.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm all in. Yes,
Yeah.
let me invest in this 40-cent paper.
And here's the shocker. Like, they claimed that 80%, but they're betting about 50% of the articles were real. They were collected from other newspapers like around the country.
So they didn't even write them. They just took them from somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like what's that one called?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
That boy. That one.
But they never get into like celebrity gossip, right? It was always
It's heavily. It's like
heavy.
at least
Oh, really?
half celebrity gossip.
oh,
We're not
okay.
going to cover
Yeah.
any of that because it's boring.
Oh.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot.
I think they changed because it started in like 1979.
Yep.
So this was only a couple of years in. So I feel like they kind of, as they got those characters that sort of made bigger and bigger headlines, as it were, they probably leaned away from some of the things. Because I remember it being a lot more paranormal when I was a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like they were the precipice of seeing Elvis alive, right? Like,
Oh yeah, Elvis alive, Bat Boy. There were
Well,
all kinds of like Loch Ness monster sightings. Heavy in the aliens.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Shaking
like
hands with Nixon and whatnot. Everyone was shaking hands with Nixon in this paper.
yeah. There's like oh, go
A
ahead.
lot of cryptids, right? Half
Yeah.
man, half alligator, half bat, half a lot of cryptids.
Yeah. Like there are like 4 very specific things that made me interested in the paranormal. Specifically in the cryptids. It was like the fairy tales and the folklore that I grew up with. It was unexplained mysteries, unsolved mysteries, Harry and the Hendersons, and the Weekly World News.
Interesting.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. Look, your mom's dragging you to the grocery store. You don't want to be there.
Nobody wants to be there.
No.
What do you
But
think the
once
profile was of the average person who purchased it?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm
Didn't
gonna
we kind of
say
see that in Men in Black?
That's right.
did we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But please continue.
No, you continue. Why don't you review that as if I've never seen the movie Men in Black? Because I don't remember that.
It was the primary consumer outside of the Men in Black agents perusing it for clues as to their next.
Oh, so you're saying Men in
criminal
Black are the only
apprehension.
people buying it? Okay.
No, it was
got
primarily
No, you already said it. It's fine.
housewives and curlers and drinking tea and
Senka.
sitting around in muumuus.
Did it ever get picked up? The stories get picked up by the mainstream media? Like, did something just kind of cross over? Like, yeah, okay, so maybe the Bat Boy isn't real, but this story kind of resonates with us.
There has to be, right?
Yeah, there has to be because they're stealing these stories from all over the planet.
Right.
It's like, and a lot of these stories are really boring and inconsequential to anything. But then there's the fun ones.
Mm-hmm.
They were also on the precipice of every article was short, right? Like you could pick up a newspaper and you read the entire front page and say turn to page 3 and then be another page. This was like paragraph, right?
Yeah. That long one that I just read was one of the longest articles in there.
Yeah. Except for this one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, we have for us.
Suppressed CIA documents prove U.S. possesses remains of UFOs and alien beings.
That was in Weekly World News?
Yeah. Now the truth can be told. For many years, rumors have persisted that the U.S. government has in its possession spaceships manufactured on other planets as well as the occupants of these interplanetary craft. CIA, FBI, and State Department documents verify that this top secret scientific discovery of all time has been hidden from the American public. For over 3 decades, a monumental discovery has been kept a carefully guarded secret from the American public. This high-level secret involves the remains of crashed UFOs and their alien occupants found in the southwestern part of the United States in the late 1940s and early 1950s. Both Army and Air Force military units on orders from the Pentagon rushed to the site of these crashes and carted away the unearthly That's a weird word.
Unearthly?
Remains,
Maybe?
nope,
An L?
unearthy. There's no L. Remains of both crew members and spaceships. The wreckages and bodies were eventually put into deep freeze storage at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, according to military sources who later went against orders. 18. Wait, did I miss? Oh, I did. I missed one. Went against orders and decided to talk. Hangar 18 was used for this purpose. To date, no one has been allowed inside, not even Senator Barry Goldwater, who was turned away upon making a request that he be permitted to check the contents of the hangar. Now the truth can be told. Recently, because of a new law enacted by Congress known as the Freedom of Information Act, maybe you've heard of it, civilian researchers have been able to obtain via court order classified CIA, FBI, and State Department documents, which verify the fact that we are not alone in the universe. At one point, there was actually a tug of war going on between various branches of the government as to who was to get final access to these objects, said FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, maybe you heard of him, in a signed memo. We must insist upon full access to the discs discovered. For instance, in the Louisiana case, the Army grabbed the discs and would not allow the FBI to have it for examination. Similarly, in 1973, Henry Kissinger telexed, I don't know, it's really fuzzy, our South African embassy requesting they attempt to recover a UFO that had gone down in the jungle. Researcher and author of 12 books, Timothy Green Beckley has just completed a definitive report on what has been called the Cosmic Watergate in the riddle of Hangar 18. You will see actual reproductions of classified documents. You'll never hear from a U.S. astronaut who chased UFOs for several days in a row over a military base in Europe and later saw motion picture footage, now missing from government files, of a UFO that landed at Edwards Air Force Base for military personnel to get a good look at it. Published also are drawings of the UFO beings found on board the crashed spaceships, as well as actual photos of these aliens taken by military photographer. Now this, Jeni was like, you should read the story. And I was like, yeah, I will definitely read the story, even though it is an ad.
Yeah.
That was an ad.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love
yeah.
the ads in the Weekly World News because
It's
they're
so
all
great.
sounded like articles.
Because let's
I
take a
didn't
look.
know that.
This is, I guess, the cover
That
of the
is
book.
the best.
Okay.
It is the best. It's the best.
Here's another illustration. Censored. He's probably topless. I don't know. Who
I think
knows?
so. I'm absolutely convinced.
Yeah. How great was that ad? So good.
Well, I would say this.
book.
The further you got into what I now know is an ad, the closer you got to the screen. You started back at 3 feet. And then as the story got more exciting and deeper into it, you just kept getting closer and closer. I felt like I was there with you.
Oh, I'm glad that you felt that with me. It's also because I can't read my screen because it's an actual photo of an article and not text. So
Yeah. I also really like there were a lot of like head
yeah, I'm a
emphasizing,
professional and
not
I'm
a-
very
not
excited
a
about the
hair
material.
moving.
Thank you for noticing.
Let me be clear.
Oh, that was
I really like your glasses, as I said before we got on air.
I don't think you did, but thank
they're
you.
kind of large, right? So you should be able to see the words.
Well, that doesn't mean they're thick. It just means they cover
Oh.
more space.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. What do you guys think of the Hangar 18? I don't know that I've
I'm
heard the
into
term
it.
Hangar 18. Maybe. I don't remember.
I'm still confused by this whole thing that it's written as an article, but it's an ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's an ad for a book about stuff. Roswell and some other guys.
The best books, I got to say, are written about stuff. It's true.
It's true.
It's actually true.
And this one is about Hangar 18. That's all I need to
Well,
know.
yeah.
I don't need to read it anymore.
And at one point, didn't you actually read a quote by Hoover in his actual accent?
Mhm.
Yes,
It's
I've been
almost like-
practicing.
Yeah, you twisted a little bit.
Mhm.
You know what's
Listen.
great is she just had that accent ready to go. She practices presidential
Listen,
accents like
Yes.
nonstop.
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
she doesn't need to practice. I appreciate you giving her the kudos, but when you're a professional, it just rolls off the tongue.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Listen, Jenny's got another fascinating story, but speaking of professionals.
For those of you naysayers, I want you to know how much I appreciate how many of you grabbed a hold of my small package after last week's show. It is out and available. You can get both of my books, The Other Side, A Guide to the Paranormal and Ghost Hunting, and my brand new book, Theater of the Mind, Tales from the Darkness. Both books are out. One, of course, kind of a how-to ghost hunt book, and the other story book of strange supernatural occurrences all around the world. You can get your hand on my small package by just ordering it right off of my website. You can go right to paranormal60.com, scroll down on the front page there, or go to the shop and scroll down and you'll see our book bundle. And I was so humbled by the fact of how many men put their hands on my small package at the end of last week's show and bought it. It was great. It made me feel loved and wanted. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
Jenny.
Was he in the room with you?
Yeah.
That felt so authentic. I did not feel like you were reading an article, but that felt like an actual ad.
Mhm. Mhm.
You were probably there. Hey, tell us about the bird guy, Jenny.
All right, listen. I don't know that we can continue the show after this because this is such a hard-hitting article of such monumental proportions.
We
Is
will.
this what the Michael Keaton movie was based upon?
Yes.
Okay,
No.
all right. Now,
I
is
mean,
this
I
an
didn't
ad
see it.
No.
or a
no.
story? Tell us up front.
Now this is a story.
Okay,
No more trickery.
A little bit trickery.
a little
A
bit.
little bit of trickery. All right. Expert breaks crazy birds of silly habits.
Oh, stop.
Mm.
I won't. I will continue, and you will be happy that I did.
Okay, go ahead.
If your canary is crazy, your parakeet
Boy, howdy. Go ahead.
is paranoid, and your myna is miserable, maybe they should see a shrink. And the man to ask for help is the eminent 40-year-old bird psychiatrist, Harvey Edelman. For a fee of $25 an hour,
That's
Edelman
a
will
bargain.
I know. Edelman will figure out why a bird turns on its owners, biting, snapping, or just plain outrageous behavior.
What year was this article?
81.
81.
Okay,
Big bird year for
right.
pets. Big bird
81.
year.
Sure.
Some birds become aggressive or screech. Others tear out feathers from their chest, Edelman told the news. I just finished treating a bird named Chachi, who had been biting his owner for 2 years. He was a pet of someone who worked for a bird feed company.
There's a lot going on in that.
There's a lot.
None of it's that interesting, but there's a lot going on.
To cure him of his nasty habits, I just started screaming in his ear.
As one does.
Don't bite.
It's awesome.
And in time, he stopped. Edelman doesn't.
I can't argue with that. Yeah, that makes a
Right.
hell of a lot of sense.
Do we have a timeline for in time? Is this like an afternoon? Is this several years?
I believe.
I think you cut her off guard with that question.
I think, it would be what a normal person would think about in time. A couple of months, maybe. 6 months.
Oh,
I would
That's
not
what
have
I would go with.
no, that's too
Really?
long.
No,
Too long.
That's too
Too
long.
long.
Yeah,
Oh
a
my
week
good
at
Lord,
most.
You people are impatient. All right, listen.
Sorry.
Edelman doesn't think it's cruel to shout in a bird's ear. If someone walks up and slaps you in the face for no reason, you'd scream at him. So I screamed at the bird. Now he understands and does not bite, said Edelman.
Wow.
Edelman's practice took wing last November, and he became attached to his fine feathered friends when he was just 10 years old. I started out with a parakeet and eventually was introduced to the more exotic birds such as parrots, macaws, and cockatoos. You know, birds really like people and want to hang out with them. They are very, very bright. They like company just like a dog and should be treated as a member of the family. They don't consider themselves birds. After a while, if you get one young, it will assume you are its parent and won't be around and it won't want to be around other birds. As the Birdman of Manhattan Island, Edelman is the first and only graduate he knows of bird psychiatry.
Huh.
Edelman has pretty much a client-patient relationship with his customers, mostly city dwellers who come to his Midtown store. Because a lot of birds take advantage of a situation when they get the upper
That
hand.
word tripped you up, Jenny? Because a lot of, I'm like, oh, a lot of what? Birds.
Oh, okay. What is this?
Listen, I also have to have it very large for my own eyes to see, and it got a little cut off in my magnification.
That was good.
Listen, birds do take advantage of a situation when they get the upper hand. Edelman teaches owners the tender, loving care of bird watching. Birds can be trained at any age. All it takes is time and affection and encouragement to the new owner on how to handle them. Birds are more intelligent than dogs. They're loyal, affectionate. They talk to you. You don't have to walk them, and they live a long, long time. Birds are the greatest.
Birds are the greatest.
First off, he just sounds lazy. You don't have to walk
This
birds. They're
man-
great.
Right. And they love to be right. This man, at
Mhm.
some point in time, made a living yelling at birds.
Now, we said $25, and that's why I asked what year it was, 1981.
Sure.
So again,
correct.
I'm rooted in facts.
Yes,
Right.
I
I went
know.
out and I did the little conversion chart.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
How much do you think that is in today's money?
$150.
Yes.
Can't use the same number. Nope.
Okay,
It's like-
175.
$87.95.
That is way
Okay.
less than I
So
thought.
for
That's
$88. Now, if you think about it, though, think about like all of these pet psychologists we have today.
Right.
Yeah, they're
These are
everywhere.
cutting edge, and they charge a lot more than that.
Absolutely.
Right, because they
Absolutely.
saw that there was a market there, and they're like,
44
let's...
years ago.
Mm-hmm. Listen, this bird guy is making $88. Let's do more than bird and charge like 5 times more.
Now, I didn't look it up because the question just occurred to me, but I'm wondering how many people have followed in his footsteps and are now bird psychiatrists.
Just
Bird
birds.
psychiatrist, not just a animal, but a bird
No,
psychiatrist.
very specifically a bird. And I'm also now wondering if he started a school to teach people exactly how to yell at birds.
I really want this
how
to be a
loud?
thing for you.
You could
So
yell in the bird's ear.
I've got some information for you, Jenny. Because again,
Right.
I'm rooted in facts.
I'm ready to go.
So I used AI to ask how many bird psychologists were there in 1981.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What do you think that number was?
1.
1, 2.
The correct response is there was no established profession of bird psychiatrists with a publicly listed phone number in 1981.
Listen, Dr. Edelman would disagree.
That's
was his
clearly
name?
not true.
Edelman.
Edelman.
Yeah, Edelmann.
Like the shoes.
Yeah.
Wow. He has written a number of papers. I kid you not. Wow.
Tell us the
gonna
title
say
too.
you could dedicate an entire show to this gentleman by what I'm seeing in Google right now. For those of you listening, I invite you to go look up bird psychiatry Edelman, and you will not believe what you find.
I might believe it because
See,
I
so-
read it in this paper.
All these stories 44 years ago, these people made careers out of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably careers before the stories, but yeah, point
Well, there
taken.
was no listed phone number for a bird psychologist, so I don't know if they had a career at that point.
Yeah,
That's-
carrier pigeon. Come on. What else do you think he's going to use?
He's the
You think he's gonna have
Birdman
a
of
phone?
Manhattan.
Yeah, come on, guys, pull it together.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yes.
He doesn't need a phone because he's
Right.
got carrier pigeons.
Correct.
Oh,
What else would he be using?
Not a phone, but
He's
birds.
the bird whisperer.
He'd be like
And the
screaming
bird-
at a pigeon and then
Bird
throw it.
screamer,
And then
occasionally.
the pigeon would arrive and like say some stuff in pigeon, and the person receiving the message would be like, I don't know what's happening. That's his phone.
this is the
And-
last thing I'm going to share about this because
Please.
I have gone down this rabbit hole now. That's after this show, I'm going to be up for 3 hours.
Of course.
So I looked up the term bird whisperer,
Sure.
hoping to find out who is a bird whisperer.
Uh-huh.
You know what I found out?
No.
The term bird whisperer is not meant to suggest that anyone can literally whisper to a bird and have them understand.
What
So
is
what
it
we
meant?
thought was true, they're saying is not possible.
Mm,
You
Interesting.
can't whisper to a bird.
Okay.
That's why he was
can you
screaming.
shout at it? Can you shout at
Oh.
it? Google bird shouters.
screamers.
Shouter, bird
Yeah.
screamer.
Yeah.
You think that's a thing?
Yeah, because that's what he did. You
Oh.
don't just like
A screamer is a South American bird species. We should probably stop going down this rabbit hole. Let's
Yeah, I
continue
think
on.
maybe
we're
that's what he was
hang
doing.
out.
He was introducing new birds to I don't know.
I feel a new show for the two of you.
I just
Dave's always looking to fill time.
I mean,
Here's a good opportunity for you.
yeah, and I want to take this moment too to mention that we do have a Patreon, and we will be working on some new and exciting things to put on said Patreon, and we're possibly gonna explore training birds.
We will not be doing that,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah,
Not at
yeah,
all.
we're gonna do that. Yeah,
No, we will not
I'm
be
gonna
doing
walk
that.
up to some birds and yell at them.
I mean, that's obviously going to happen regardless. But guess what? Amazing engravings show swarms of UFOs in sky 400 years ago. A series of incredible 16th century engravings show with astonishing detail UFO sightings that took place some 400 years ago, as previously stated. We have accepted that they are attempts to describe UFO phenomena, said engravings expert Dr. Bruno Weber, who I think I have a picture of. Let's get
He's an engraving expert, you say?
Yeah, he's an engraving expert. See, look at him. Wait, look at him. See,
Oh, that's for
obviously
sure an engraving expert.
he concludes the engravings are UFOs, so you know it's true.
And his name is Bruno.
Yeah,
That's
Get
kind of a
out of here.
lost name, right? How often do you see
it really
kids?
is.
Yeah.
Bruno.
Good
That
name.
was, it's like a
Mhm.
dog name. The highly prized wood carvings are housed in the Central City Library of Zurich, Switzerland, where Dr. Weber is head of the engraving department. There's an engraving department. The engravings include an engraving dated Nuremberg, West Germany, 1550. It shows a horseman who appears to emerge from a flaming stream flowing down from a ball of fire. Another from Nuremberg, dated April 14th, 1561, shows the sky over the city, dotted with objects, some round, some cylindrical, some in the form of crosses, while two men look up, arms raised in amazement. One cylinder appears to be taking off, leaving big trails of smoke behind. You guys probably seen that one. I think it's this one. Is it this one or is it this one?
That
Oh,
one.
it's probably this one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys seen that, right? What else? I'll tell you what else. Yeah, I read the one. One that records a mass of objects over the Swiss city of Basel. Is it Basel? With Basel Cathedral, which still stands, easily identifiable. It is dated 1566. Is that? Yeah, that's this one. An engraving from Prague, now capital of Czechoslovakia, I don't know if that's true anymore, that shows two flaming globes from which armored soldiers are emerging while astonished citizens Watch from the ground. The date is 1580. There is nothing in the text that goes with each drawing to suggest the artists, the journalists of their day, recognize the phenomenon to be UFOs as we understand them now, said Dr. Weber. They were done during Reformation, a period of religious upheaval, and the text suggests the phenomena were taken as signs from God of impending catastrophe. Among the other 400 engravings, 400. In the same collection, many are easily identified as comets, sun halos caused by clouds, and at least one lightning bolt. But our present-day knowledge of the heavens sets these 4 engravings aside. Dr. Weber, referring to the mysterious balls in the sky over Basel, says that in addition to the engraving, several manuscripts refer to the phenomenon. The same is true for the Prague engraving depicting soldiers in the sky. The accompanying texts state quite clearly that the phenomenon occurred in a clear day, daylight, so it certainly cannot be a trick of lighting in the sky, he said. Thank you, Dr. Weber.
Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to provide some more insight on that story.
I would love that.
Me
But
too.
not about the story, but rather the name Bruno.
Oh, let's hear it. I'm highly
Okay.
interested.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what's crazy, if you don't mind me saying.
No, please.
Not at all.
In America, what year do you think the name Bruno peaked?
1847.
1970.
Wow, you guys are so far off. 1915.
Oh, I wasn't
All right.
Literally, from 1900 to 1915, in those 15 years,
Uh-huh.
the use of the name tripled in 15 years. And then, literally, as soon as it got to 15, it started to drop. Now, here's the most important thing, though.
Yeah.
From 1970 to 2024, it has been on a steady increase every year, nearly approaching what it did almost 100 years ago.
Wow. Good for you, Bruno.
Why do you think the
Seriously.
name Bruno's coming back?
You know what?
Well, now we got
It's-
Bruno Mars.
Oh,
Bruno
yeah. that
Mars?
guy.
Mhm.
Bruno, I think, was a
Return of
main
Bruno?
character in a Disney movie about
Was
10
it?
years or so ago. Yep.
I don't know.
Mm.
Bruce Willis? Didn't he have a Bruno character? Wasn't that his,
Yes, in the 80s.
yeah.
You were
Yes,
alive, but
Who
yeah,
is
I'm sure
that?
your grandparents told you about it. They call me Bruno or something like that. That was the name
Yeah,
of his-
something like that, where he
Yeah.
took some, like, he did the whole, I hate that whole genre of music, but yeah, that. You know, middle-aged white guys doing soul. Just get out of here with that.
All right. Final thing I'm going to tell you.
Uh-huh.
What country is Bruno the most popular name in of all countries? So they use it more than any other country.
It feels
Germany.
Italian? Oh. I say Italy, she says Germany. What is it?
So if you look over time, right, over 50 years, it has been most often used in Italy.
Oh, nice. Good job, Tressa.
But the country that peaked the most was France.
Oh,
For 1 year, they used it more than any other country, and then it just dropped off.
huh.
France. Bruno's running around France. Good for them.
I realize this is not paranormal or cryptid or monsters.
Is it?
However,
Right.
is there something we don't know about the name Bruno? Is there an underlying belief?
That what? That the Bruno name is synonymous with success?
Correct.
Mm.
It's exactly where I was
And
going.
truth
Mm.
And truth and justice, the American way,
and discovery.
discovery. I don't know. I think Bruno Mars is it, though. I think you're absolutely right, Jenny. Well, 'cause he was in popular 10, 15 years ago, right? Came to prominence, and that's when we started coming back again. And
And
Yeah.
he wouldn't be named that if it wasn't for Bruce Willis. So you're welcome, America.
we have come full circle.
Yep.
Mm.
Jenny,
Nice job,
Well,
America.
tell us some good news, Jenny.
We do have good news. And granted, it was back in 1981. But listen, diggers have found Japanese general's gold.
Fantastic.
Excited about this? We're excited about this. Lucky workers digging a water project unearthed $2.9 million worth of gold antiques believed to be the legendary treasure hidden by General Yamashita, the World War II Japanese general. The discovery in the Philippines touched off a gold rush. Work on the project was even delayed because hold please, I lost the article.
Okay.
Was even delayed because people from the surrounding towns have gone there to dig for treasure. Word of the find brought thousands of residents armed with shovels and picks into the area to dig for antique figures and statues made of solid gold. Officials say the golden treasures were part of the famous treasure of Yamashita, named after the cruel Japanese Imperial Army General Tomoyaki Yamashita, who was killed by American forces. So we got treasure.
Who gets to keep this treasure? Is this like finders keepers?
I'm assuming so. That's the rule for treasure, right?
I don't know. I'm not a treasure hunter.
I'm assuming that it is.
Are you frozen? Are you there? What's happening?
So
no, he's doing research. You can see his little eyeballs.
Yeah, no, I remember back. I can't remember the Philippines. Imelda Marcos, the woman who had all the shoes.
Yeah, the shoe lady.
Yeah.
I remember her saying something. It just dawned on me. Something about her husband's wealth was because he had found that Yamashita's gold.
Really?
Yes, I remember a story. I got to look it up.
Let's
be honest, because remember, the whole thing was they were stealing from the Filipino people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But she said, "Oh no, we didn't steal from you. My husband found Yamashita's gold."
Okay, so at least the legend of the gold is very much real,
right? They use it in the Philippines to swindle their citizens.
Swindle.
Well, that takes it from good news into bad news.
I don't know if you're authentically remembering this or if it's a joke, but I have some really great predictions right after this.
A vampire in Rhode Island?
A UFO crash in Connecticut?
A flying moose in Maine?
A haunted bridge that calls your name?
New England is weird.
Really weird.
Wicked Strange by Jeff Belanger and Frank Grace is your ticket to the bizarre. Ghosts, monsters, urban legends, and roadside oddities you won't believe until you see them.
So pre-order now on Amazon. It drops September 2nd.
Assuming the Black Dog of West Peak doesn't get you first.
Let's get strange.
Wicked Strange. Pre-order your copy now on Amazon.
Real fast, I have to say.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows, when I'm on the Paranormal 60 News, I look at the comments. And I was looking at the comments during the break, and Crystal Ghost said Bruno was a lead character in the movie Encanto.
Oh.
The Disney movie.
So that was the Disney movie. Well,
Yes,
first of all, we love
thank you,
Crystal.
Crystal Ghost. Yes.
Yeah. She's a fantastic lady. We enjoy her very much. So coming through with the answer. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're a bunch of dum-dums. Listen, we got predictions from Pauline Bendit. I don't know who this is, but look at gorgeous. I love this photo very much. She's a mastermind of predictions, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Pauline Bendit is an amazingly accurate Romanian psychic who regularly presents her uncanny predictions for news, all caps, readers. Her most recent predictions. You guys ready? Japanese automobile engineers will soon reveal their car of the future, which will closely resemble a 1957 Chevrolet and get an astounding 52 miles per gallon. Next prediction. A Russian spaceship will have difficulties upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere and crash near Denver, Colorado, touching off a panic that almost results in World War III. You guys remember that? Next one. Donny Osmond will begin a serious acting career and star in a hit movie based on the life of Thomas Edison. So many awards that movie get. Next one. An incredibly rich gold strike will be made in Puerto Rico beneath slum suburbs of the capital city, San Juan. So exciting. All those things actually happen, and I remember them happening. Do you guys? Oh,
Trying to think back. Yeah, those are escaping me.
really?
I don't quite remember those. It's weird.
And honestly, when I tried to use AI to find her, there was no record of her.
Oh no!
What?
You are mistaken.
No.
You should Google.
The internet
instead
doesn't
of-
go back to 1981. There was no internet back then.
Oh, see, she's
Or her time.
real. Yeah,
Just
that's what I
before her
said.
time. Yeah, none of
Oh.
those have come true.
But the
The
Thomas
car thing.
Edison. Yeah, the 52 Chevrolet,
Yeah,
the Japanese one.
yeah.
Or what was the other
You guys
one?
ever seen a Honda Accord?
Nope,
Oh,
I've never seen one.
They don't look anything like the 1957.
no,
No,
no.
I tried.
You gave it a good run.
Yeah,
I was trying to think about what an Accord looks like. I don't know cars. I'm real bad at cars. I have no idea.
real bad.
Yeah.
smaller than a bus.
I'm not familiar.
Bigger than a truck though?
Nope. Smaller than
Oh.
a truck. Yeah.
How many doors?
I don't.
Most
Are
of
you
them.
confused?
I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, doors. I don't have any doors in my car.
Okay, so
Does Jenny have a story that I can resonate with?
probably not.
Oh.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with Tressa's face at the moment.
I'm trying to find our next segment, and I can't find it in my stuff. So,
Oh, well, I was going to tell you about the new bones.
oh,
Excuse
tell
me?
us about the new bones. I
So
love
you're
new
telling me
bones.
if I Google the new bones, what am I going to get if I Google that?
You know what you're gonna get.
Oh, I don't think you should do
All right,
that.
can I have control of the screen so I can
Yeah.
pop up what I find?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Aw.
1000% no. Listen, doctors develop an amazing new method to grow bones.
Mm.
You heard me. They're growing
This
them
is
now.
1981, right?
1981.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. A startling new technique has been discovered to help the body grow new bones. Doctors at Children's Hospital Medical Center in Boston have used crushed bone from dead bodies to encourage the growth of new bone in living. The huge medical breakthrough has already been used to provide a nose to a youngster who was born without one. 43 other children have been helped. The doctors predict the technique will be used extensively in the future to treat accident victims and fight dental disease. The procedure
Hey,
involves
that's how I got I got dead bones in my mouth because of an implant. So yeah, it all worked out there.
It's a
it all
different
worked
kind
out.
of show, Tressa. Different kind of show.
Oh, that's not. Oh, okay.
So the procedure involves the crushing of human bones, mixing the powder with water to form a paste, and molding it into the shape of the desired bone. When the mold is implanted in the body, it connects with the patient's living tissue cells. These cells eventually form cartilage, and the cartilage becomes bone. From a clinical standpoint, I'm very excited about this material, commented Dr. John Mulliken, who conducted the first operation using the powdered bone.
Now, I got to be honest. I would tend to believe that.
Right?
No,
Like that one
because it's
seems like
true.
plausible. The only thing that gives me pause is the bone mold, like the forming of the new.
I'm so glad
Right?
you
Like,
laughed before me. Yeah, I was like, no, I can't
Like-
do that. I'm a guest. Maybe this is how they talk. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
am so small and naive, and I don't understand sometimes the
Listen,
things that you
let's
laugh at.
talk about bones and how we mold them and shape them. There's lots of squeezing. There's smoothing, lots of rubbing. What? I'm
Shit.
talking about bones, and then you put them
Listen,
inside of a body.
I'm
yeah.
enjoying the idea of like like
Bones
those
inside of
molds
bodies.
molds that one would use for like working with
Right, and
Play-Doh
they're soft, but then they get
or
hard.
chocolate, something
Uh-huh.
along those lines.
Right. They're
Mhm.
like
And just mixing
malleable.
up some powdered bone with some water and pouring it in there,
Right. It's like
perhaps out of
soft.
some
And then the
Pyrex
idea of
container.
putting it in a body,
Uh-huh.
it gets harder.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
what the article said, but
I wasn't really listening.
yeah, no, I know. You rarely do.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just my 2 cents on this topic here, if we don't
Mhm.
mind.
Mhm.
So with stem cells, if I'm not mistaken, you can regenerate bone.
I
But
believe so, yeah.
I've never heard of taking crushed bone, mixing it with
Right.
water, right?
That's
So
where it falls apart for me.
yeah, exactly. Like they were onto something. I totally would have
Right.
bought the newspaper going, this
Right.
is possible. Because if you think
Yeah.
about it, bone powder is essentially concrete powder.
But isn't that basically what they do with dental implants? Because I know they use like cadaver bone in your jaw, powdered, and then
And like the
paste.
actual
Yeah.
and then the actual like living tissue sort of melds and
Yeah.
grows with it. Yeah.
But it has
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
pretty-
soft first to regenerate hard.
Do I look
I don't
like
understand
a
All
bone
right.
scientist? I don't. It's the
Listen,
idea of going
If
into
I
the
got you a
body
shirt
makes
that
it
said bone
hard.
scientist, would you wear it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All
Every
right.
day.
That might be your new
Yeah.
name. Tressa, the bone scientist.
Hello.
Excellent.
If you do that, I will get it printed on her next round of business cards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This would be great to
Wow.
hand out at a convention.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
All right, we'll talk later.
Bone scientists.
Got it.
Hey, guess what? It's time for. I'll tell you what. It's
Ooh, look at
time
that banner.
for, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yes,
mad,
whoa.
mad world.
All right.
I had to find it somewhere else. Who's gonna jump this one off? Is this you or me starting this one?
It's up to you.
Okay, well, let's say docs say more people are biting each other, but dog attacks are declining. Human bites have become a serious health problem, especially in New York City, where 24% more people are biting each other this year than last. What? At the same time, animal bites have been declining, in a desperate plea for public awareness of the biting problem. That's a thing. Let me find out where I was real quick. Health officials warned that human bites can cause infection and amputation and deformity. Human bites injure, maim, and produce real and permanent misery, Health Commissioner Rinaldo Ferrar said. They are quickly becoming a serious problem, not to be taken lightly. There were 1,297 human bite cases during 1979 in the Big Apple, second only to the 13,177 dog bites, which were down 16.7%. However, none of the bites, human or otherwise, were fatal. Cat bites are believed to be the third largest category. Third, every human bite warranted emergency treatment in a hospital or by a private doctor, Ferrar said. To help understand and treat the problem, the health department has begun sifting all reported cases, hoping to draw a profile of human biters. All right.
Okay. All right. Now,
Jeni?
believe it or not,
Okay.
I happen to know a little bit about human bites.
Really?
All right. Don't know why.
I wish I would have known this story was going to be on here. This is actually one of the things I spend a lot of time researching.
Oh, really?
Now, here's what's interesting.
I'm just okay.
You said cat bites were number 3, correct?
Yeah.
That has actually changed.
Oh.
Cat bites have risen to number 2 behind dog bites.
Oh. Okay.
Human bites. How many people go to the ER or their doctor every year due to a human bite? Let's start there.
1,532.
Okay.
829.
250,000 people a year. Okay.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's really funny.
Wait,
Right.
wait. I was just reading New York City numbers. What does this number encompass?
This is the United States.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
114 bites a day. Now I'm going to do the rough math. That's like one every 12 minutes. Okay.
Sure.
Wow, that's good.
And
So
how
now
many
what's
of them
crazy-
are you?
Me? No. I have those special cadaver bones. Don't allow me to bite.
I got it. I understand.
Now,
Right.
once you go to the doctor,
Hmm.
what do you think the biggest problem is once you get your bite?
Infection.
Infection.
Yeah.
What % of people end up with an infection from another human biting them?
50.
100%.
10 to 15%.
That's
Many of these
surprisingly-
children in daycare.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Okay.
What surprises me is that the people, I'm taking children out of the equation because I wasn't thinking about that until you said it. The people that are biting people have enough dental hygiene to not be infecting people is what surprises me about that.
Yeah, the problem is that there's bacteria in saliva, right? So you break the
Right.
skin, you get the bacteria. Yeah, you would think the number would be higher.
Yeah. 100%.
You would, except for people would probably get that cleaned out pretty quickly, right?
Is that a daycare or an adult, you mean?
And kind of both, right? Like a kid's gonna scream if it gets bitten, and the caregiver is probably gonna wash it off very quickly, right? Nobody wants
Maybe.
to get sued over a bite.
Interestingly enough, I'm going to leave you with this little tidbit.
Would you?
I just started watching a new series called Friends and Neighbors. Has anybody started watching that?
No.
Nope.
In one of the early episodes, one adult bites another adult,
Hmm.
breaks the skin, causes an abrasion. And I don't want to tell you any more, but let's just say the bite does end up causing some issues.
Is it a zombie show?
No.
No.
This was two consenting adults.
Oh, consenting
Oh,
bites. Ah.
The bite wasn't consensual, though.
Oh,
Okay.
Just saying.
okay.
I have stunned you with my knowledge tonight. I can see.
Speech.
I
You
know
have.
all about
You
bites.
have.
I had no idea.
Here's the thing that I want everybody to appreciate right now is sharks were not mentioned in any of those top 3 or anything. I'm real proud of the sharks restraining themselves.
I mean,
So you believe that shark bites would be high up there?
No, I wouldn't. But the reaction when I talk about sharks excessively is usually, aren't you afraid? I'm afraid they're going to bite me. And my point is why they're not going to bite you. Look at your neighbor might bite you, but the shark is not.
your neighbor is definitely going to bite you.
Correct.
So again, I know a little bit about shark bites. Globally,
A little bit about shark bites.
I know a little bit about nothing but everything. Globally, there's an average of about 64, give or take, shark bites unprovoked each year.
Correct.
They do not keep count of provoked shark bites, though.
Oh,
Typically, no.
Yeah.
so if you like,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the ocean, you're like, roll up, let's go.
Yeah.
They're
It's a lot
like,
of selfies.
Don't put that on the records.
Yeah.
we
A,
don't.
a
that's
lot of
just some
selfies
nonsense.
and whatnot.
No one's going to tell.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm going to level with you. I'm okay with that because you probably deserved it.
I kind of want to start a
You
fight
were
now.
kind of in their world, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a
And
shark bite
provoked.
on land.
That's
What-
true. You assume the risk.
Jenny, give us our next Mad World story.
Listen,
Uh-huh.
bet you can't eat just one. The hulking, hungry guy couldn't eat just one. The man reached across the sandwich shop counter and began shoving down meatballs, much to the anger of the shop's owner. When I said something to the man, he told me he was going to shove me into a pickle jar. And, so I figured, what the heck's a few meatballs? Joseph Israel, the shop's owner, said in Tampa, Florida. Tampa,
Hey.
Florida.
Valid.
The man also ordered 5 sandwiches, and when Israel asked for the money, the Hulk said, "Keep it. I just want the food."
I don't understand that sentence. Hey, are you going to pay
Israel
for this?
asked about the money. Yeah. I asked about the money. Like, apparently he was going for the money. I don't know.
Oh, like he thought he was going to get robbed?
I think so.
Okay, that makes more sense because it sounded like when I first started it, he was like, "Hey, are you going to pay? Keep it. I just want food."
Yeah,
and
no,
that made
it's
no
weird.
sense.
The actual sentence is, the man also ordered 5 sandwiches, and when Israel asked about the money, the Hulk said, "Keep it. I just want the food." As per written. Listen, I think we're skipping over the fact that he threatened to shove him into a pickle jar.
I'm not. I think it's great.
Because I love that threat.
Yeah,
and
I
will be
always
using
threaten
it
you with that,
from
and I mean it.
As children,
You
do you remember when there were book fairs at your school?
Heck yeah.
Sure, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
What was the book you bought? Like,
I
did
just
you always
read
look
the
like the new
titles.
Judy Blume book or something?
Oh,
The new
yeah.
Harry Potter? What were you buying?
Choose
Benicula.
Your Own Adventure and Judy Blume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Choose
I was
Your Own
buying the
Adventure and
Guinness Book of
Benicula
World
books.
Records. That was my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
book.
That tracks.
Heck
That
yes.
tracks. Yep.
So I know a little bit about meatballs. Okay. What do you think the world record is
Uh-huh.
for the number of meatballs you can eat in 1 minute? 60 seconds.
60 seconds, 73.
Wow, that's high.
More than a meatball a
50.
second?
Yeah.
50.
No, lady.
How big are the meatballs?
I don't
Are
know
we
what
s-
you guys are
Are
doing
we
when you go
chewing?
out to
50.
Olive Garden, but listen, 29 meatballs in 60 seconds.
Yeah, it seems
That's
low.
the
I
record.
don't know.
Now, would you say that's impressive?
Obviously not, because I thought it was going to be 72.
I
or
mean,
3
I
or
don't.
whatever.
First of all, impressive. I don't know if we can use that word when discussing like a meatball eating contest.
I think you can. Absolutely. You're
I
wrong.
can't. Absolutely not. You should not use that word when
Yes.
shoving food into one's face.
Balls.
So let me talk a little bit about that for a second, okay?
Mhm.
So we talked about meatballs. Meatballs relatively lightweight, correct?
No, they're pretty heavy, but
Well,
continue.
the big ones are. I'm talking IKEA meatballs.
Sure.
They're small, okay? What is the world record? These are the 2 world records that stick out in my mind. For the amount of food eaten in 4 hours. By amount, I mean how many pounds did somebody eat in
Okay.
4 hours?
50. I'm just answering 50 from here. on out.
73.
50.
Jenny is on it. 59.6, if I remember correctly.
How?
That's
I don't even.
Pounds, it's 15 pounds an hour.
That's too much. Why?
How do you know that? I mean, how do you know that's too much food? Because who weighs their food before they eat it? That's a weird way to figure out how much food you're eating.
You don't have a scale in your kitchen?
No. And when I did, I wouldn't know. That was not to see, hey, can I top how much I ate last time? It was, I'm not going to eat too much. And now I'm just like, give me more taquitos. I don't know. Do people weigh their food before they eat it?
I thought everybody did. I'm a little surprised you don't.
Sometimes.
I don't understand food or how it works or what it does.
It's pointless to weigh a thimbleful of soup. It's not going to.
Thank you. That's my whole point. That's
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Do you know that there is a world record
yes.
for the number of M&Ms eaten in 1 minute using chopsticks?
With the
That's a
number of
world
what?
M&Ms eaten in a minute using chopsticks.
Okay, now we are reaching. Now we're getting people that are like, I want to get into the Guinness Book of World Records, but everything's been done before, so I'm going to come up with my own stupid thing. Settle down. Just
So to your point, you know what the person that broke that record
Hmm.
did it because he did the number of M&Ms eaten in a minute, blindfolded using chopsticks. I think this really goes down to it's a mad, mad world, doesn't it?
it
It really
really
does.
does.
You're around
It
doing.
really does. And I
Yeah.
love the image of someone practicing, sort of like a montage, like a
Oh yeah, with
You
some
know.
like going for it rock in the background.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking about going for it, flashy crooks grab the beer and run. 3 men and a woman waltzed out of a convenience store without paying for their beer, undetected by the clerk. The 18-year-old clerk was pleasantly distracted when the woman unzipped her jogging suit and exposed her breasts so her 3 comrades in crime could dash out the door during the diversion. When I turned around, that girl threw the front of her shirt open to me, the guy said. She's flashing. Let's get her. And they ran out, the clerk said. I don't understand that quote either, but listen, it was 1981. What a time to be alive.
Seriously.
That's the whole story?
Yep.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
it's a mad, mad world.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Mhm.
But listen, I am low on
I don't have
funds.
any Guinness World Records for that. There's nothing there I
Really?
can think of. No.
You
I
know,
don't think
I
there
don't want to
could be.
incriminate myself. Never mind. I'm not going to tell that story.
Yeah, that's a poor. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to go ahead and say don't.
That's probably for the best. Give us one short last story, Jenny.
All right, one short last story. Vampires haunt town's shadows. Cops were swamped with wacky reports of vampires leaping from the shadows. It all started when police officer John Pepper encountered a strange-looking person in the cemetery, Lieutenant William Trott of the Mineral Point, Wisconsin Police Department said. Pepper said he saw a huge person with a white painted face wearing a dark cape. Pepper gave chase, but the vampire got away. Police were then swamped with calls from people saying that they also saw the vampires. Cops blamed this strange behavior on pranksters. But Trott said he can't get anyone to go back to the cemetery at night.
Oh.
I don't know why
got
he's trying to
any-
get people to go back.
Well, yeah, to catch the vampires, Jenny. You got any
Right.
world records on vampires, Chachi?
What would you like to know?
How many vampires exist in one space eating M&Ms?
How many people think they are vampires in today's day and age?
How many gallons of blood could one singular vampire drink in one sitting?
Why were you terrorizing a cemetery in 1981?
What were you
in
using
your-
as a white paint for your face?
I think the answer to all that can be summed up in one way. The number of vampires that exist in the United States today.
Uh-huh.
Give me a number.
372.
50.
Per the U.S. Census,
Oh,
5,000 vampires exist in the U.S. today.
okay. I have a follow-up
they-
question for that fact.
Are they all in one community? Like, is it just like a town, or are they sprinkled about?
They are sprinkled about.
Oh.
What state has the highest percentage?
What state?
Yeah. What don't
Well,
you get?
Believe it or not, the biggest society of vampires is in Atlanta.
Oh.
Interesting.
Would you have thought that?
No,
No.
I would think
No.
not there.
Out west somewhere.
I would think New Orleans, perhaps.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
Arizona.
Why are you guys going southwest with vampires? Is it because
I
that
went south
movie?
and then southwest.
Well, I
By the
know,
way,
but then
there's
you
only
went.
50 vampires in New Orleans, by the way.
There's how many?
50.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, they. You know what? You get to a point and you're like, let's not be cliche. Let's go to Atlanta. I get
Well,
it.
I would assume like not a lot of northern vampires. Just it seems like it would
I
be
would
very
think-
cold.
Yeah, but it
right? They'd be out, and they can't sun themselves.
exactly.
Right.
That's why they would go to the northern, and then they'd go even farther north where it's 30 days of night every once in a while. Like in that
You know, there's
movie.
only two places that northern vampires exist:
Where's that?
northern England and southern Scotland.
Are they fighting factions?
Do they what?
Are they fighting factions?
They do not fight. No.
So, like
Listen,
the term
these are just
orgy.
things I learned in middle school. I'm surprised you guys don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
I was homeschooled. So the term orgy of blood, it's literal and not like a violent thing.
Where did you hear that term?
Homeschool.
I don't believe that actually happened.
Okay.
I don't have any knowledge of it.
I
If you
have
can
no
do it.
further questions.
Okay. Hey, that wraps up our issue.
We
from
just
June.
get started.
I know,
I
but
know.
we're
How
like,
many pages are in the Guinness book? There's like 800 pages in that thing.
oh, well, you'll have to come back next week and tell us about page number 5.
Is that all? We only got through the
research.
first 4 pages?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Well, thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
You have anything
Thank
you want
you for coming
to
back. This
promote?
was
Like
awesome.
a show you sometimes do on Wednesdays or something?
I used to do this show called the
Uh-huh.
Paranormal 60 News with Dave Schrader.
Oh, I'm familiar with
I've
that.
been begging him to bring it back on Wednesday nights. And I
Yeah.
actually had a discussion with him this evening.
Oh, you did.
He's bringing it back tomorrow night.
What?
Paranormal
Fantastic.
60 News tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern.
We'll see you there.
I'll be there.
Thanks for joining us. This has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to hear more Guinness Book World Records about M&Ms and chopsticks and blindfolds. Everybody else! You can find us on social media and junk in our emails and things and our website. And don't forget our Patreon that's going to be pretty great and awesome soon. Until next time, thanks for joining us on The Monsters.